We're rolling. Dice. Camera.
Action!
Hi guys, it's with the BBEG Podcast at London Comic Con, and we are here with Roll and Play Press. Guys, introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I am one of the authors and an editor at Roll and Play Press.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'm the creative director and co-founder of Roll and Play Press.
So please tell us a bit about yourselves and the business in general.
Oh, you do that one.
Yeah, so me and Beth worked together in publishing for many years. And now we make role-playing game resources together. So Roll and Play Press started in the pandemic. It was a Kickstarter project of a book of random tables that I wanted for myself as a dungeon master who wanted to make life easier for himself. And so with my publishing and graphic design kind of background, I think in books, so I made this book of random tables called Roll and Play, the Game Master's Fantasy Toolkit. I put it on Kickstarter to see if anyone else would want it. I was hoping to sell maybe 10 copies and it'll be a nice little pandemic project. We ended up selling 7,500 in 30 days. So me and my wife, Kay, who's just around the corner, she worked in law and business, and I worked in publishing and graphic design.
Nice.
So together we were like, let's make a business. Let's see where the story goes. And so we've been writing and producing role-playing game content since 2020 in the pandemic, and we still are.
Yeah, amazing.
And it's been an incredible journey, and just so grateful for the support of our incredible backers who have supported us for years, and they still are, and it's amazing. So our most recent project that Beth and I authored together is One Shot Wonders.
Show it off.
Here it is.
Yay!
So we are super excited about this. We've been working on it for about a year, and it is a book of 100 session ideas, session plans for game masters. But all of the session plans are just on 2 pages.
Amazing.
So you don't have to read 20 plus pages
Yep.
of content to run a game.
I feel that.
Yes.
You can just read this in 20 minutes and run it tonight. It's that simple.
We bought it earlier and we were flicking through it. The artwork is insane.
It's beautiful, yeah. So we work with an illustrator in the US called Christina, and we sometimes give her the wildest briefs, like a giant toad sat on top of a well, and she just goes,
Unicorn versus Nightmare.
Yeah, unicorn versus nightmare, and we're like,
Cool.
oh, a goblin chef
Yep.
fighting an octopus, and she's like, absolutely. And you just get this beautiful artwork back, so she's an absolute dream for not thinking we're not being confused by ghoul climbing over train luggage.
Yes. Very serious brief.
That's just Heathrow Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you write a lot of the stuff. Well, you write together.
Yeah.
So what's your process?
Oh, so actually for this book we started with, essentially we went from a concept of kind of maybe what type of monster it might be and what type of encounter it might be, so whether or not it's more of a combat heavy one, an investigation one, a social one. We had that as a core concept, and then we would write a basic outline of where we thought the story would be, and then each one got fleshed out into our kind of key boxes that you get, so your locations, your characters, some secrets and clues to drop in, and so we just kind of fleshed it out like that. And at each stage me, Sam and Kay would go through it together and think, where could players take this off track?
Yeah.
And how can we try and contain it while still giving that freedom?
Yeah. Amazing. So to get to know you guys a little bit, what got you guys into, I would say D&D, but the world of tabletop gaming in the first place?
A lot of tabletop gaming. A friend of mine in publishing, Toby, shout out to Toby. He lives in New Zealand now.
Yeah.
So
Oh, nice.
if you're listening to this, hi Toby. He invited me and a few others round for a game. He was DM, and we really enjoyed it. And I thought, this is cool. And actually, I've been wanting to play D&D since I was a kid. And a friend of mine's dad bought us all rule books one day.
Nice.
And I was going through the rule books like, wow, I can tell all these stories. And I was making a character and down to what he had in his backpack and stuff. But the game unfortunately never materialized, and so I was just left with this, I think it was 3rd edition rulebook, and then it just never happened. So then in later life, playing this D&D game, it's like, this is everything I wanted this to be. So that really got me into it, and then, podcasts and YouTube, Critical Role, Dimension 20, I think the kind of gateway for many people into it, where you can see.
What got me in?
You can kind of you can learn by watching and think, oh, that's how combat works. That's how initiative works. That's how insight checks work. Yeah, and then I loved it, and so I said to my friends, look, we're going to play this, and you're gonna enjoy it.
That's literally what my friend did to me. It's like, we're in a lockdown, none of you have an excuse.
Exactly.
Like,
that
fair.
is true.
And so we played it, and they loved it, and so we played it throughout the pandemic. So I had friends. It was really nice actually for my friendship group. One of them had moved to Japan recently.
Oh, wow.
But we found a time, and so every Sunday at midday, I think, was kind of in a time zone for all of us.
Yeah.
And we played this campaign, and it was just the best time.
That is the beauty of online options.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, exactly.
And
And
then
yourself?
this guy got me into it.
He just dragged you in.
Yeah, well, so when Sam set up the first book, I hadn't really he didn't really tell anyone he was doing it, because he didn't think to, do any pre-publicity or anything like that. It was just like this idea. So I saw that, and I hadn't played D&D before, but Sam started posting like character prompts and stuff. So a lot of our random table books are creative prompts.
Yeah.
So it would be, who's this NPC? Here's some basic facts about them, write their backstory. And I loved it. I was like, here's my backstory, Sam, here's my backstory. And then eventually Sam was like, oh, I'm doing a character book where we're gonna have all these prompts, so do you wanna write on it? And I was like, yeah. So now I'm here, and like Sam said, I think as a beginner, watching other people play, however you consume that, whether it's a podcast or an actual play, it's really helped me kind of absorb the rules, and I realise now that they're somewhere in the back of my head in a way that I don't think I would have learnt them from reading the rule book from page 1 to 300 and 400 and whatever it is. And then you can go back and reference them, obviously, but that's how I learned.
So to round all this off, because you guys have been insanely busy every time we've walked past you today, and I'm sure you have things to be getting on with, any advice that you would give to new players or DMs, apart from pick up your book?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I would say, no, that actually wasn't what I was going to say. I was going to say...
I'm saying it, pick up the book.
Thank you.
Like I said, I think you can learn a lot by watching and listening to other people do it, but I would also say that I think a lot of people are intimidated. You don't have to be perfect the first time you GM. You can just pick
I was not.
Yeah, exactly. It's just fun to play, and if you find an adventure that appeals to you, give it a go in a no pressure setting. Don't feel like you have to learn a whole campaign and set up a year's worth of session. Run a one shot, but genuinely, it doesn't have to be one of these, and see how you like it, and you'll be hooked.
Yeah.
What's your bit of advice?
Ooh, that's a big question. I would probably say, don't over prepare. I think it's a trap that I think I fell into as well when I first started playing. Is, as a GM, you're considering all the possible choices that your players might make, and then they make a choice that you didn't consider. So it didn't matter anyway, kind of thing. I think being a GM, there is a lot of improvisation because your players, they're characters in the story. So I think it's really like that your session prep should be a sketch or a guideline, really, that you can be flexible with and that the players can have fun around, that you can kind of guide them on. I think as soon as you over prepare and think about every single other choice, you're kind of putting more pressure on yourself in that you're trying to follow something word for word. I suppose it's similar to giving a presentation where it's all written down in front of you. It's difficult, whereas if you have note cards, it's easier to be more flexible. And I think that's the same with GMing. Not that you should just have note cards, because I think you should do some preparation.
No, I get you.
But I think it's just knowing that it's not going to go how you think anyway.
Yeah.
And improvisation is key.
Got to roll
and
with
just,
it.
Just go with the flow.
Literally.
Just go with
The
the
whole
flow.
point of the game is rolling with it.
Because someone's gonna get a natural one, and then it won't happen anyway. So what can you do?
Yeah. That's what I'd say.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
it's been
you.
such a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks
It's
for
been
the
a
book,
pleasure,
because we're really excited to play one of these. And I'm going to let you guys go.
Oh, thank
For
you.
everyone watching, please go and support.
Roll and play press.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you, Sam and Beth, for sitting down with us at Comic-Con. It was lovely to see you, and thank you so much for taking us through this wonderful book of yours. Look at all the beautiful artwork, and it really does help you create and explore those wonderful one-shots. So thank you. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Sam to tell you some more.
This book contains over 100 session plans for Game Masters. So if you're a Game Master who runs sessions frequently, or you're a Game Master who's looking to play, or you want to throw some side quests in, this book's perfect. So it contains 100 plus session ideas for your D&D games, but all the session ideas and session plans are just on 2 pages. So you have your suggested story, your key locations and NPCs with flavor text you can read out to the players at the table as well as a timeline, so your story always stays on track.
We are here to make Game Masters' lives easier. You won't have to spend the rest of your weeks, months planning sessions. You can just pick up one-shot wonders. Everything you need for your session will be there, which means if players drop out last minute, or if you just fancy running a session and you didn't have the time to prepare, there will be a one-shot in there that you will love.
The other books we have work very well with this. They're books of random tables. So whether you're caught off guard in a session, maybe your players have just visited a tavern and they're asking, well, who's the tavern keeper? Where's he from? What's his backstory? It's very hard to improvise things like that. So we have books of random tables, the Game Master's Fancy Toolkit and the Fancy Character Kit. So all you have to do is roll some dice and you get names, backstories, appearance features, quest ideas. There's tons and tons of inspiration and content in there. So they work well together. You can visit the Roll and Play Tavern or visit www.rollandplaypress.com/wonders to check out One Shot Wonders today.